Wow. We always talk about how important elections are, but man, did you see that Wisconsin Supreme Court race? I mean, all the money flying around and the big names getting involved. It was wild.
Yeah, you really don't often see that kind of attention on state judicial races, do you? It kind of felt like everyone suddenly woke up and realized just how much power these courts actually have, especially in a place like Wisconsin.
Won over $90 million. That's insane. The most expensive state judicial race ever. I mean, what does that tell you about how high the stakes are here?
For sure. It's definitely not just about interpreting laws anymore, is it? It's about shaping the entire political landscape.
So let's break it down a bit. We had Brad Schimel, right? Former state attorney general.
Right.
And he got some pretty big names in his corner. Trump, obviously, but then Elon Musk, too. That was a surprise.
I think a lot of people were surprised by that.
And on the other side, you had Susan Crawford, the Dane County judge.
Yeah.
With backing from Obama and George Soros. So it was like a mini presidential election all over again, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. And Musk actually went to Wisconsin and campaigned too. I mean, he was really invested in this.
Wow. So why do you think all these national figures were so focused on a state race? It's not just about Wisconsin, is it?
No, I think it shows how national politics are bleeding into everything these days. And these endorsements weren't just symbolic, They brought a ton of money and media attention with them.
Right.
It's like both sides are realizing that if they want to get things done, they need to control the courts, even at the state level.
And this wasn't just some random election either, was it? I mean, this could really change the balance of power on the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Oh, absolutely. It was a 4-3 liberal majority going into this, right? And the seat was being vacated by a liberal justice. So if Schimel won, that flips the whole court to conservative control.
So huge implications there.
Definitely.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What were the big issues that this election could impact?
Well, I mean, the big one right off the bat is abortion rights. Huge issue in Wisconsin. And the court's stance on that could change dramatically depending on who wins.
Yeah, and what about public sector unions? That's been a hot topic in Wisconsin for a while.
Yeah, definitely. Their collective bargaining rights have been a major point of contention. And the Supreme Court could play a huge role in shaping that.
And of course, you can't forget about voting rules. Always a big deal in a swing state like Wisconsin.
No, for sure. And redistricting, too. How those congressional districts are drawn can really sway elections one way or the other. And guess who often gets to weigh in on those legal challenges?
The Supreme Court.
You got it.
So with all the close elections we've seen in Wisconsin, this court could easily end up deciding the outcome of future races, right?
Yeah, I mean, the 2020 election went right down to the wire in Wisconsin. And there were a bunch of legal challenges that went all the way up to the state Supreme Court. So yeah, this race had a lot riding on it for both sides.
Absolutely. So Crawford, she really focused on abortion rights in her campaign, right?
Yeah. And she also tried to tie Schimel to Trump and Musk as much as possible. Even came up with that Elon Schimel nickname. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty clever.
And Schimel, he went after Crawford on crime, saying she was too soft on criminals. And he played up those concerns about redistricting and public sector unions.
Yeah, it was all about trying to energize their base and scare undecided voters.
Classic political strategy.
Exactly.
Okay, now for a completely different story. Did you hear about Trump meeting with Bill Maher at the White House?
Wait, what?
Yeah, and you'll never guess who set it up. Kid Rock.
Wow, okay. That's not something you see every day, is it?
No kidding. It sounds like Kid Rock was really pushing for this. He was talking about how we need more civility in politics and all that.
Interesting coming from him. He's not exactly known for keeping his opinions to himself.
Yeah, no kidding. But apparently the meeting went really well. Kid Rock said everyone was kind of surprised by how agreeable it was.
Well, Maher's been pretty harsh on Trump over the years, so I guess that makes sense.
And get this. Maher donated to Democrats forever, but he had never actually been to the White House before.
Wow, really?
Yeah, anyway, Kid Rock said they hung out in the private residence, looked at the Gettysburg Address, talked about some policy stuff.
What kind of policy stuff?
Well, he mentioned wokeness and border security. Those seem to be Kid Rock's big issues these days.
Interesting.
And apparently Trump wanted Maher's thoughts on Iran and Israel, so they actually got into some foreign policy, too.
Well, I'll be darned.
Yeah, and Kid Rock made it sound like Maher came away with a newfound respect for Trump. You know, like he saw a different side of him or something. He even said the whole thing was pretty eye-opening for everyone involved.
I mean, it's definitely a feel-good story, isn't
Yeah.
it? Makes you wonder if maybe we're not as divided as we think we are.
Yeah, maybe.
Though I'm not sure one meeting is going to magically fix everything.
Probably not.
But hey, at least it's a start, right?
Right.
And it's pretty wild that Kid Rock was the one to make it happen.
That's for sure.
Okay, so circling back to that Wisconsin Supreme Court race, though, it really makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, the amount of money and attention it got is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, and it really shows how important the judiciary is becoming in shaping policy.
Especially at the state level.
And what about people like Elon Musk getting involved? That's a whole other layer to this. I mean, is that good for democracy, or is it too much influence from one very rich person?
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely valid arguments on both sides of that.
Right.
And you can't forget about the core issues at stake here, like abortion and collective bargaining rights. Those were front and center in this election. And the Elon Schimel thing really shows how much those national figures were playing a role.
Right.
It's fascinating, isn't it? You have this incredibly intense battle for the Wisconsin Supreme Court on one hand, and then you have Trump and Maher maybe finding some common ground at the White House on the other.
It's like two totally different worlds colliding.
Yeah, so what does it all mean? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is this a sign that our politics are becoming even more polarized? Or is there still hope for dialogue and compromise? It's tough to say.
Well, I guess that's for each of us to decide. But man, what a week in American politics. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
Anytime.
All right, folks, that's our deep dive for today. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.